evening. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Some stuff is so much done. I'm happy that you don't even anticipate a response or are kind enough to say thank you. We thank you for this blessed opportunity, and we truly believe that God will continue to do what He's been doing. I don't feel led or spiritually provoked to start itemizing what God has been doing, since He doesn't make any mistakes. That we just pray that He remains to be the same faithful God that He has been. We have a special moment tonight in sharing God's death with you, to those that are here, and to those of you that are viewing. So what I'm going to do is I'm learning to take a little bit more better cues and learn, Sister Fleming, some of the norms, the new norms that are happening. So I got to allow people to do what's called a watch party. So I'm not going to finagle and just hold time for that, because just like anything else, we should be on time for it. But let me give an opening thought, and let me gather myself for this opening thought, because the haste isn't necessary. Before our speaker comes, I want to share something that God has given me, and not because I have the mic, surely because I'm somebody's pastor, that I need to be obedient and not use this platform as my soapbox, or just because I can be heard, don't mean everybody should be listening. But I like that, because it's the truth. But in this moment, it's clearly an urging of the Spirit that now that much time has passed with what's going on in the world, and to anybody that remotely knows me or have some proximity near me during this time, this is not my daily conversation. Brother Jason just asked, what can I do? What can I go shopping? Brother Neville was just talking about the increase on the job, and I had one sister, she remained named, she's in the room. She said, I got a stimulus check coming, I need to know where we're going to make some money. So I know that the conversations are changing, and they're not always publicized, they're not always televised, they're not always posted, because if you pay attention to social media, and I'm definitely not the best barometer for it, but what the things often seem shared is the same senses. It's either a joke or it's all crisis, but there's a God in the middle. Amen. And so what I've learned, I feel my help coming on. I get it. I feel my help coming on. I started with it, but I sure feel it coming on. So what I've learned, Jason, in this short time of the moment that the world globally is in, thank you, that the world globally is in, is that a lot of people are finding out that their response was not accurate to what they're going through. Am I talking to anybody? Now, I'm not attacking you, because some of us, everything wasn't spiritually motivated. Sometimes it was just based on the crowd. But this is not going to reach everybody. It might reach probably all of you here. This comes from the school of Cedric the Entertainer. Get Lisa in there. Amen. For those of you that's never seen, I believe that's the King of Comedy, where he said that there's an innate response to us, particularly people of color, that we move when everybody else moves. Yep. And he says a joke that he was somewhere, let's just say a party, and he took off running, and everybody else started running. And when they got finished running, they said, why are we running? Right. Now, there's not enough laughter in the room, but I know somebody honest, they would say it just the same. Because we respond as others do. Yep. And if we're not careful, it's often the wrong response. Yep. And so let me get quickly so I can pass this baton. So what God is having me to share right now is a moment for us to, one, and this might not seem spiritual because it's not common, we're going to tell God, I'm sorry. Amen. We're going to tell God, I'm suggesting we do it because I've done it. God, I apologize for responding to man and not responding to your voice, not responding to your word. And God, I find myself begging you, pleading with you, entreating, long suffering, laying prostrate, praying that you undo some of the effects of my wrong response. Amen? Amen. I don't say amen a lot to solicit it. I just know I'm in the right place. Okay, maybe that's too deep. There's somebody right now with something spoiling in their refrigerator because they bought too much of it.
Hello.
Yeah.
There's somebody right now in their house. This ain't deep, y'all. This is just fundamental. There's somebody in the house right now wishing they had somebody to give it away because they had the wrong response. Now you wondering why you bought all that water. You don't even drink water. You feel like a fool standing in line. And then two people. And then all y'all with filtered water at your house.
Hello.
You in line for an hour, which you get freely streaming, filtered out of your own house.
Hello.
Go get a cup. Okay, amen. I'm just so I'm giving an instance in the Bible in case you don't believe it, and then I'm out of your way. There's a time in 1 Samuel 11, and I'm just talking to you. You don't even have to open your books if you so desire. That's fine. We'll be following our speaker of the hour. Saul defeats the Ammonites. This is my message speech. And Nahash the Ammonite had came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead. That's 1 Samuel the 11th chapter. And so the enemies of Israel had came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead. They had surrounded them. And I know some of you have heard this, but you've got to hear it tonight in a special way. The enemy just showed up. Somebody say showed up.
Showed up.
Let's do it again so we encourage the people that's online, because I'm not worried about hearing them. I'm worried about them hearing you. Showed up.
Showed up.
The enemy didn't do nothing but show up. They did not attack. They did not make an address. They did not come. And you will see the intent of the enemy when they have a response to the people of God, when they allow them to go get help. I promise you, I need about 8 minutes to deliver this moment to you. The enemy did what?
Showed up.
The enemy is just showing up. Hear me. The enemy showing up, having no level of engagement. Engagement meaning Jason Warren had no level of fight in them. The moment that this happened, the moment that they showed up, the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, make a covenant with us, and we will serve thee. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them. Clearly, some of you know this text. The enemy did what?
Showed up.
Y'all know I'm not interactive, but I want to encourage somebody. Because I'll preach the same with the 2 of y'all, 2,000 of y'all. One more again, they what?
Showed up.
When they showed up, just presenting themselves as the enemy of God, or the enemy of the people of God, the children of Israel said to the enemy, let's make an agreement. I promise you, I got 8 more minutes. I promise you, this is all I need. There are some of us right now for the very presence of the enemy. And I don't mean just the virus itself, but what the response to the virus has caused. Because if we're true, we don't have a response to the virus. And then 2 people. One, clearly, because we know that's sellable. That's definitely something that would bridge the gap between poverty and a billionaire, or maybe a trillionaire in this market. And I'm going to leave that alone. So we don't really have a response to the virus, even in social distancing. We're not saying we're curing it, we're curving it. Right. We're not curing it, we're curving it. One more again. We're not curing it. Even the reason why I'm saying this right here is revelatory to somebody, because they've been having all the wrong responses, and there are literally, you can laugh, you can go, that's stupid, Pastor Kenny, that's crazy, then I'm not talking to you. There are some people at home, because of their unconscious response to the presence of the enemy, that they really think they are curing the virus by staying at home. If that's not you, I'm not talking to you. Don't roll your eyes, don't talk bad about the preacher. Trust me, I got shoulders enough can handle it. But if you come off of that cynic response, you will recognize you can help somebody, because you cussing at somebody about staying at home as if that's the cure, when it's also not the cause. It's the curve. Amen. That's good. And so, for the very presence of the enemy, what did the enemy do?
Showed up.
Matter of fact, if y'all serious about it, I dare 20 of you at home just respond with us. The enemy did what?
Showed up.
Some of you right now, you adults, you don't like being told what to do. I promise I'm not trying to be funny. Some of you in church has been so long, you just gonna say what you want. I promise you I'm not talking to you. At this point, I say this, look, I really don't care. I'm so tired of the preacher having to feel like he has to succumb to what they think is pressure. I've been doing this too long. I really don't care if you don't move. My thing is, when you obey the leadership, it's something that God can use in your obedience. It's just something about a response. when God inhabits the praises of his people. So when I become repetitious, particularly as Pastor Kenny, that's not something I do. You ought to be ready for something. One more again, the enemy did what?
Showed up.
Now, when the enemy showed up, they had a complete response. More often than not, your response should be to the attack. Your response should be to the intent. Your response should be to the strategy of the enemy. We are even in a world right now, this is our public worship announcement right now. Our speaker is right behind me. This is our public worship announcement. The church has had an absolute response to an enemy that really ain't talking.
Come on. Come on.
Because when it first got here, it was a global enemy. When it first got here, and hear me, to no offense, because we have Chinese American friends and family and believers, it was, and let our leader, and there's no attack, these are facts. It's a Chinese disease. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
Now, all of a sudden, even with us being a percentage, just as a people, a minority, even when the statistic says that 28% white, 17% Latino, depending on what region, 11% black, African American, whatever we want to be, whatever box you're checking today, then all of a sudden now it's a black disease. I'm confused. One, can it just be global so that we can all deal with it?
Hello.
And can it stop being black? It can, even if the numbers are is a disparaging different, which it does not suggest. And if some of us will pay attention to whatever media outlet, find out who owns it.
How about that?
Find out which side of the fence that they need to propagate the information to support something bigger than your emotion.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it needs to be a black disease because they need a black vote.
Hello.
Because it wasn't a black disease 3 weeks ago.
Nope. Nope.
But you know how many people turn me off because they don't have propaganda. Clearly, I'm not trying to be shared. I'm just trying to share something. And so the enemy just showed up, and the people of God said, we're going to make a covenant with you. Means we're going to make an agreement with you. Are you ready?
Yep.
So when they said we're going to make an agreement with you, 1 Samuel 11, get ready, brother speaker, 1 Samuel 11, he says, make an agreement. The Bible says, on this condition, somebody say condition.
Condition.
You can't work for the devil without a condition. You don't like that part, because I don't work for the enemy. Good. Then let me tell you the other side of your job. You can't quit on God.
Hello.
Because if you quit on God, there's only two masters to serve. And a lot of people have quit on God, but don't think they're working for nobody else. Just because you don't go to church no more, you're working for somebody. Just because you quit the choir, you're working for somebody. Just because you're not faithful like you used to. Listen, just because you don't smoke like you used to, if you're not serving fully as unto God, you're working. You can't be lukewarm. And so the enemy says to them, he just responds, well, look, we can't just let you quit. Even the enemy knows that quitting is not just an option. He said we need a condition. We've talked about this before, so I'm hurrying it up so I'll let you know what this is about. This is our public worship announcement. And Christ First and through Endless Touch and Peniel, different people are going to start posting public worship announcements to give us an opportunity to hear what God is saying to you. Our first public worship announcement is, if you quit on God, you're working for somebody. Because you're going to work till you come back.
Well,
Choose this day who you're going to serve.
yeah.
The Bible undergirds a lot of this, y'all. You may not be feeling it, but it undergirds this. And so when the enemy responds on this condition, we've spoken here, well, if I got to work for anybody and there has to be a standard, I may as well work for God.
Yes, sir.
But some of us believe that working for the enemy in any capacity is less troublesome than working for God. That ain't all of us, but some have fallen victim to that. If we're not careful, they says, look, you got to work for us. We want to bring a reproach upon thee. We want to bring a reproach. Somebody say reproach.
Reproach.
Here's why I don't think this is really important in today's time, but the Bible will validate it. A lot of us don't care about being embarrassed no more. Okay.
That's true.
Okay. Be careful because genres and generations will clash right here. When you left my house as a child, and your hair wasn't combed.
Come on.
Yeah.
Boy, if you're going that comb, your hair. Now don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't roll your eyes. I ain't talking about new age. Now we call it going natural. We call it nappy, but go with that. I'm going natural. We call it nappy.
Hey.
You do what you're going to do.
Nappy and happy.
We do it. Happy nappy. That's good. Now, what that meant was, it wasn't that I had something to prove. It wasn't that mama was worried about standing. It was about don't embarrass me. This is some 11. Now trust me, you can have dreads, you can have twists, you can have a natural look and just be as elegant. But hear me with the right heart. And so the believer also doesn't recognize or care by and large, because I hate blanketed statements, that we don't care how we are embarrassing God. We're embarrassing God with our behavior, with our lack of faith, with our foolishness. We tearing the church down, and then in the next post to God be the glory. Which who you working for? You think you can, and it's not, there is a righteous indignation, but many of us don't walk in. We walk in personal attack, not righteous indignation. And so the Bible says that we're going to, on this condition that we put a reproach upon thee, that we put an embarrassment upon you, we want to blot out your right eye. Somebody say right eye.
Right eye.
The right eye enables you for your peripheral. Anybody, just because you got cataracts, you can still have good eyes. Get glasses. Amen, somebody. For some strange reason, I need them now. I don't know what that's about, but I'm aware. And so now, if you blot out your right eye, right now I have two people on this side. There's more, but I'm going to try right here. If I open my eye, I can see them. If I close my eye, I'm blinded to them. You got that? Yes. If you're at home, try it. Look for an object that you can see with your right eye. Matter of fact, all y'all try it right now. Look straight and find something that you can see out of your right eye. Close your eye. Did you see it disappear? Yep. Oh, get this right. Get this right. One more again. Get a focus. It can be a chair. It can be a light. Can you see it in your right eye? Close your right eye. Did it disappear?
Yes.
Here's what's crazy. It's still present even though you can't see it.
Jesus.
Here's why the enemy will take out our right eye.
My God.
We need to be a protector one for the other. But if he blots out our right eye, I could be hurting right next to you, but you can't see it. And so let me not pick on you, let me talk to you. Have you ever been next to somebody and you really needed some help, but they couldn't see it? I'm talking to something. Have you been in church, Sister Cheryl, and needed that touch from the Lord, from somebody that swear they knew God, but they couldn't see it? Yes. Can I tell you why? It's either we're so overwhelmed with our personal agenda, or we don't realize because we quit on God that we have left somebody in a position to be hurt or attacked. Am I talking to anybody? It hurt your heart when you were in a worship service, and that was that moment where, all month long you hated when the preacher said, turn to your neighbor. Oh my God, don't touch me. But that's that one day you was hoping somebody say something kind to you, and you sat next to a hell yeah. You sat next to that, told my age. You sat next to some old mean person, and you wanted somebody to say everything gonna be all right, but they couldn't see it.
Jesus.
The enemy will take away your ability not to produce, but your ability to fight.
Yes.
I come to encourage you today.
Yes, yes.
When they put the reproach upon the people of God, it took away our ability to fight, because we need to war. When you war, you need to be able to see. You know what the people of God are crying for? I really have to recognize sometimes to carry God's word, you must lose the popularity or what you think makes you popular. Church, I got to say something to you now. I submit it prophetically. Be careful when everybody around you, specifically Christians, only talk about production but not talk about fight.
Come on.
In the times we're in, it's low-hanging fruit to talk about. Everybody want relief. What were you going to do without the virus? Clearly, I do know there's a trickle-down effect. Hear me. I'm a bright guy. I get it. There's some things that demand the relief are because of. However, how has the need become so prevalent and so immediate, so instant in some of our lives? It suggests there's another issue.
Yep.
How employable will you be when this is lifted? Will what you've been doing still be around when this is lifted? Secularly. And during this time, I must ask the question, will you let the enemy blot out your right eye? Because all you want is something to be produced, but you ain't got no fight. I'm begging. I know words. I know how to plead. I can entreat you. No, I'm begging. If you're in this place and you're watching, find your fight.
Amen.
And stop begging for stuff in advance. I get it. Let me tell you that the stimulus needs to start with $12,000 across the board, $8,000 a month. For 6 months. They can get a land tomorrow. Just go, you keep 40 acres of you. We're kind of over it. We see that ain't coming. But let's do something else. I'm with that. But if you get it, it's probably going to take your fight. It's going to take your fight. I'm begging you. If that's not everybody, that's cool. Because God uses remnants, Jason. So do I want the whole church, everybody 215 East Sun Main Street talking about, ooh, it's about the Bible? Absolutely. If I take two, I've literally matured that somehow, some way, David, if there are two or more touching and agreeing, he's a God in the midst thereof.
Hello.
I need somebody ready to fight.
Hello.
And you ain't got, and you're not going to embarrass me just to take the fight out of me. Whatever you're going through, endure the embarrassment. Because the Bible says when Jesus went up the cross, he enduring the shame, despising the shame, he endured the cross for the joy that was set before him. Literally, Jesus was going through not only the most horrific death that could be legally levied upon any man, because that's why they needed the law to confirm it. He also died the death of a slave, which is an embarrassment. And but in the midst of the embarrassment, he had an expectancy of the joy on the other side. Amen. Some of us going through this, Talia, I speak to you, I speak to us, some of us going through this, we're going to be embarrassed. We're going to find out we don't really have what we say we have. If you lost your car 2 weeks into the coronavirus, apparently something else is going on because they don't come get them in 2 weeks. We're going to be embarrassed about living situations. We're going to be embarrassed about connections. We're going to be embarrassed about some of the stories we told about our capacity. That's fine. But keep fighting. And see how the story ends. Come on, let's give God some praise.
All honor is God. Thank you to my pastor for this opportunity. And I learned that it is an opportunity to stay behind God's desk. But everybody is not able. I'm going to continue from what I was allowed to be a part of Sunday in forgiveness. So I found out a couple things that Pastor Kenny said. One of the first that struck me, he said, we need to say sorry to God.
Amen.
But we're living in a time right now where it's making us do things that we said and swore we would never do. You know, act how we said we would never act. Treat people how we said we hate to be treated. And yet, because of what's going on, we're doing it anyway. And whether we believe it or not, you're not doing it to me, you're doing it to God.
Wow.
Because even, I think it was one of my favorite writers, David said, against thee and thee only have I committed this sin unto thee. And David did something to a lot of people.
Right.
But he realized that ultimately he was letting down God. And what I believe, this is me in my opinion, is that it's easy for us to continue to do what we're doing because you don't care about me. So it's harder, it would be harder if you knew you was doing it to God. But because you see Jody, it don't really matter because I don't have to continue to talk to him. He's not a major factor in my life.
Right.
So I can continue to badmouth him, I can continue to lie on him, I can continue to cheat him, and not offer a single apology. Oh, but when you mature a little bit and you realize that you're doing it to God, an apology is necessary and should be rendered. So I got a couple scriptures. The first one is 1 John 1-9. You don't have to go to all of them, but you should write them down so you can remember it. Like that's Kenny said, go read it later because we know you're going to do that. And it says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And so, the first thing we got to realize and understand is that we messed up. It's hard to ask for forgiveness when you don't think you've done anything wrong. And so, because you just see me or you just see your coworker or your neighbor or your family member, it's easy to not respond to them and their attitude. But when we mature just a little bit and realize that it's unto God, you will be much more obligated to yourself to apologize. And so, it says if we confess our sins, Pastor Kitty and Bishop C.A. Irving, God rest his soul, used to teach us to do something that we don't do too much anymore. Let's take self-evaluations. Right. I used to get excited about those until I started doing them. Because the self-evaluation makes you look at yourself and I found out that when we look at ourselves, we only focus on the positive. But if you be honest with yourselves, there's more than just positive stuff in you.
Right.
You don't believe me? Look at your children.
Bless him.
Same reason you get mad at them is the same thing that was in you. That's cool. They didn't learn it from. All right. All right. The first 5 years they was with you, so. And they got that attitude and that mouth. Okay, we keep going. And when you take a self-evaluation, it makes you see things that you wouldn't readily see without doing it. And you learn about yourself. And hopefully when you learn these things, you will correct these things. Right. Or at least try to. Look here, I want to let you know it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. When you see it, you're not going to fix it overnight. Look here, because if it took you 30 years to act like you act, it's not going to take one day for you to fix it. You got to give it a little bit of time. But are you willing to take a look? Because looking will make you see that you're a liar.
Uh-oh.
My God.
Looking will make you see that you're a cheater.
Uh-oh.
Looking will make you see that you're a gossiper. Now, I don't gossip, but don't you call your friend and tell them all the good news? That's gossiping. And if you end your sentence, but don't tell them I told you, or you didn't hear from me, that's gossiping. If you don't stand by your words, you're gossiping. So, when you take a self-evaluation, you're going to find some things that you saw in others that you swore you couldn't stand. I hate a lie. Look in the mirror. Because even if you read the Bible, another it says, in my hate, all men are liars. That's what the Bible says. So, you hate him, he calls you one. When you take a self-evaluation, you're going to see stuff. But don't get scared. Don't get scared, because I promise you, it's some scary stuff in there. You don't believe me? That's why you try to keep it caged up. Because you're scared for it to come out. Come on, all those fighters. You try to walk away now because you know how bad that attitude is. You're scared of that attitude and what it's going to get you and the place it's going to take you. Yeah, the things you're going to find, it's scary. They're going to be scary. But if you give them to God, you don't have to fear them. Look here, I'm not, like Pastor Kenny said, we're not doing apples and oranges, but the Lord said the battle's not yours, it's the Lord's. But you keep trying to fight that nasty attitude, that's why you lose. You keep trying to fight that heartache, that's why you lose. The Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked. You need help. You can't do it on your own. Look here, how many of us have tried and failed tremendously? We didn't just do a regular fail. Right. We failed tremendously. But how many of us, when we gave it to God, for some strange reason, it seemed to work out all right? Here, it didn't go how I planned it, but it was much easier. Less heartache, less stress, less pain. And for some strange reason, you end up smiling at the end. When in the beginning, you wanted to cuss everybody out. And so he says, if you confess your sins, the Lord is faithful and just to forgive. And most times I hear people say, the Lord is faithful to forgive. But Bishop C.A. Irvin, if you would ever sit down with him while he was here and you would read, and you would say that, he would say, son, you left something out, didn't you? He don't have no Bible. He just sit back like this. Read that again. You left something out. And he says, you're faithful. God is faithful and just. The word just is based on or behaving accordingly to what is morally right and fair. Deserved or appropriate to the circumstances. When God forgives, he's fair in his forgiveness. He offers it to everybody. However, what we don't realize and understand is that there are also requirements to forgiveness. We think there's just, yeah, I'm all right, I'm sorry, Lord, just forgive me, and then there's forgiveness. Well, in the Bible, it tells us many times, and I'm going to go to one of them. It is, I believe it is Matthew 6, 14, and 15. It says, for if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Requirements. Right. Here, you want to be forgiven, you got to offer forgiveness. Most of us run around here acting like we don't need forgiveness. I'm big and bad. I do what I want. I say what I want to who I want, when I want. Look here, I've come to realize you ain't the baddest. And I was raised that there's always somebody badder than you.
Come on.
You might be the baddest you know. But you don't know everybody. And so there's always going to be somebody badder than you. And God says, I want to forgive you, but you ain't doing no forgiving. And God is not a man that he should lie. And if his word says it, it has to come to pass. And he said, if you don't forgive them, I can't. I want to. I have it. I've been offering it, but I can't give it to you. And most of us have been discouraged because we have not been receiving the forgiveness, but have you been offering it? What we like to say is better to give than to receive, but are you giving? Or are you just in a position to receive? And then another one, which is also in Matthew 18, 21 and 22. It says, then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me? And I know we really have this is a good question, because I know all y'all been asking, especially y'all at home. How many times I got to forgive this person? I'm glad you asked, because the Bible has an answer. How often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Right. If you read your Bible, there's a question mark after it. That's the question. So do I have to forgive them 7 times? Right. Look here, because I try to get slick with it, because I do know a little bit about numbers. The numbers is 7 is the number of completion. So I think after I didn't let you slide the 7 times, we complete. Wow. I'm good. But the Lord says in verse 22, Jesus said unto him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7 a day. I did the math because I needed to know how many times. That's 490 times a day. Look here, man, how long I got to keep letting them treat me like this 490 times a day? Lord, they just keep on lying to me. What number they at? 490? No, it's just 3 times. You got some more to go. Look here, ain't it amazing? We have a 3-strike law on certain things, right? But we let other things slide for years. I've come to find out we do that because we like certain things. So we make certain allowances for things and people. And for the people that we don't pretty much care for, they got it one more time. But let me ask you this question. What happened if you were dealing with God and he said you got it one more time? Oh, you're looking at me strange, even you at home, because you don't think you do that much to God. But I've learned that it's not only in deeds and actions, but in thoughts as well. Most of us have a good grasp on keeping our hands to ourselves most of the time. Oh, but I done killed you in my mind a whole lot of times.
Jesus.
Do you know how many times I have assaulted you in my mind? Do you know how many broken bones you have in my mental? You know how many hospital visits you have had in my mind? I got to keep it in my mind so I don't keep it in my hands. But how many of us know that's sin too? But we think just because we didn't do nothing or say nothing out loud, it don't matter. Look here, God is different than me and you. He listens to everything because most of the times the things that we don't say is what we mean the most.
Yes.
The things that we think in our hearts. Our hearts is our center. That's where everything flows from. Good, bad, happy, and sad. It all comes from the heart. And when you think it in your heart, that's what God listens to the most. Check the Bible. He says all the time, I heard you reason in your heart. Lord, they didn't say nothing. They did in their heart. That's what I listen to, because most people try to trick you with their words. Yeah. Oh, but you can't fool God with your heart. And so, in this forgiveness thing, we got to realize that we have made some mistakes. Not only to other people, but to ourselves. Here, I learned a long time ago from teaching of our pastor, nobody kicked me harder than I kicked myself. Because you only know what I let you know. Oh, but if you know what I know about me, some of y'all wouldn't even want to talk to me no more. Come on, if people knew your real truths, truth, T-H's, not F's. If they knew your real truths, you think they would still be your friends? You think they would still hang around you? Do you know if they knew how funny style you really are? I don't think they say funny style really are. Do you think they would still want to associate with you? With us? And so, let me go to my next one because I'm almost done. Luke 6:37. Luke 6:37. I hope y'all writing it down. We're talking about forgiveness. Sorry. I had a piece of paper in it, but paper didn't work. Yes.
Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven.
And most people love 38, but we ain't going to talk about 38.
Right?
Because the good stuff is in 37. Look here, we have a problem judging. And we done got fancy and we call it discerning. Or I can just see some things. No, you're actually judging. Because if you're not praying, you're judging. If you're laughing about it and not going to God on it, you're judging. And many of us are judges, but hate to be judged. Many of us are condemning. You don't think you're condemning? That's what the phrase is, if I was you. If I was you, I wouldn't let that happen to me. You're condemning. Because you're telling me what would happen. But the problem is, nobody want to do no forgiving. all this coronavirus talk and all of this stuff. And I got people at my job talking about the president is this and the president is that. And I stayed out of it for a long time until a couple of days ago. They were talking about my president. Yeah, I said it.
Wow.
And they said, "You defending him?" I said, "God said, pray for him." I said, "I know y'all don't hear me in this fashion that often." I said, "But I'm sick of y'all." I said, "He runs the U.S. You are part of the U.S. He's your president." I said, "And instead of talking about him, why not pray for him? Yeah, he made some mistakes, but it's our job to forgive." How many of you have made some mistakes? They just haven't affected as many people. Our mistakes affect people, just not as many as his. And you beg for forgiveness. You want people to let you back in their lives. You want people to let go of some stuff, get over it. Why won't we get over this and pray for him? Bishop C.A. Irvin told us it's hard to pray for somebody you're talking about.
Come on.
I can acutely discern who you praying for and who you talking about. Because if you talking about them, I know you ain't praying for them. It's hard to talk about somebody you've been on your knees going to God about. And it's hard to pray for somebody you've been bad-mouthing for a long time. And so, we got to do more forgiving and less condemning. And then I got two more, and then I'll be done. Mark 11:25. And it says, "And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses." Look here, that's that requirement again. Most of us want to be forgiven for the things that we've done. Look here, and if we be honest, everybody don't know the things that we've done. That's why we call it, me and David, we like to call it, take it to the grave. You know those secrets where you won't tell anybody? The only person that knows is the Lord, and that's because he's all knowing. I didn't even tell him. But the Bible clearly tells us that no matter what you're going through, no matter what problems you have, no matter who you have a problem with, forgiveness is always a great option. Look here, and let me be honest, it is an option. Because you don't have to. You don't have to choose to, and I know that because a lot of us have not been choosing to. Because I've learned it's easier to be angry. Because then I can point the finger. And I don't have to take any blame in the situation. If I can get the attention off of me and put it on you, why forgive? Because forgiveness normally comes when two people have a disagreement. And if you be honest, when two people have a disagreement, two people are in the wrong in some instance. One may have been wrong more than the other one, but two are wrong. And when you forgive, you have to admit your part.
Yes.
And most of us, we don't like admitting when we're wrong. Especially when it's the people we think we're better than.
Come on.
No, that's not you. Who do you think you are? Come on, you ever said that to somebody?
Who do you think you're talking to?
Who do you think you're talking to? I think she's been. Who do you think you're talking to? When we say statements like that, what we're really saying is you're beneath me. That's what I think right now. And you don't have the right to talk to me in the fashion that you're talking to me.
Come on.
So either you change your tone,
We got problems.
or we can go to the next level of this conversation. I don't know how much you would like the next level, but there is another level.
Yes.
And so I've learned that it's harder to forgive because it takes away the anger. And I'll give you this last definition, and then I'll take my seat. To forgive means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. When you forgive, you got to let go of the pain and the anger. When you forgive, you can't hold on to the resentment. And so, unforgiveness is a lot of our security blankets. Because we feel more comfortable not forgiving. Because that validates the anger. Because he knew better. So? She shouldn't have treated me like that. So? It's our responsibility to forgive, not hold grudges. Look here, because I'll leave us with this. We're made in the image of God. And all that he is. We don't got all the special powers that he got. He can't trust us with them. He can't trust some of y'all with turning water into wine. Talk about I'm having communion today, Pastor. Maybe not. Couldn't trust some of us with raising the dead because you be bringing everybody back. He couldn't trust you with all of those other things. But you know what he did trust you with was forgiveness. He said, man, I can't trust you with that miracle thing. No, because you would mess that one up. But I can trust you with this forgiveness thing.
Yes.
Because you can't mess that up. Let go of something. Look here, I'm not going to tell you it's not easy, because it is. Because I've learned that the only things in life that are hard are the things you don't want to do. But the Bible says my yoke is easier than something is light. Somebody help me? My burden is light, my yoke is easy. Which is really translated, it's not hard. So when you telling me it's hard, you just telling me you don't want to do it.
Come on.
Ain't it amazing you'll find a way to do something you want to do that you know you ain't got no business doing? And if you tell me about it, I'm like, you did all of that? Man, that was nothing. You mean to tell me that big struggle you went through to go call somebody to borrow some gas money to go get some gas in the gas can so you can come back to the house and put the gas in the car to go to the gas station to go to where you had to be? That wasn't hard.
And you walk.
But when God asks you to let it go, you say, man, I just can't do all of that. You mean to tell me you can't let go of your anger? You can't say sorry? Saying sorry is harder than all that other stuff you did? Yeah, I realize because you don't want to. Forgiveness is not hard, it's easy. It's just whether you want to or not.
Thank God for Brother Nettles, and just only because we're piggybacking and just stay in this moment as we prepare to go home. The only thing that we want to add and submit, because this is the co-laboring part, the mistake, and it's not a malicious one. We make a mistake of thinking, and I'm pausing, as Bishop Jenkins would say, for dramatic effect. We make a mistake, and now I'm smiling because there's a joy in what I'm saying, about to say. We make the mistake of thinking that someone needs to earn, David, our forgiveness. We don't have it.
Jesus.
It's not in our flesh. It's not our desire to forgive. The Adamic nature, that's not who we are. The forgiveness that you're offering, and for some of you this is really going to be impactful. The forgiveness that you offer is the forgiveness that has been given unto you. Too many of us, and we're done, too many of us don't have the ability to forgive because we literally have a life of being surrounded by people that won't let us off the hook. This is intentional. To those that are here and those that are watching, this is not haphazard. And we will fill our power with this message. I don't apologize. I sympathize, and in some instances I have an empathy that you have literally lived seemingly a whole life. And here comes this preacher telling you to forgive, and we might make the mistake humbly submitted that you can ascertain from the message that, oh, by the way, what I'm asking from you is not yours. What I'm asking from you is what has been graciously given to you. So when you think about how much God has forgiven you, you can easily say, let me give you some of that.
Hello.
Because what it takes for God to forgive me, I don't have that. I don't possess that. It's the love of God that is in me. It's the forgiveness of God that I give unto you. If you're listening, and I have to be careful where this is where my flesh becomes parallel with my spirit, and I have to be careful to and honor God, because I don't like stupid things, and I can't stand stupid people, and whom I to deem people stupid, but stuff, and I'm clearly not talking clinically, but stuff that just don't make no sense. Particularly a person that claims to have all the sense, that bothers me the most. How are you so wise that you're unforgiving and still wondering why you're not happy?
Come on.
You ain't figured that out yet?
Speak.
How you know everything, but you're still hateful and don't think that don't translate? Hurt people hurt people.
Yes, they do.
There's a reason why you can't provoke or promote your relationship with your child and his or her father, because you got a problem with yours, and you think just because you divorced yourself from the relationship, you have not divorced yourself from the disease. The disease was not y'all being together. The disease is the unforgiveness. Absence from something is not abstinence from something.
Yes.
Or we like to say abstinence is not deliverance. Just because you abstain from something don't mean you've been delivered from it. In some instances, it just has not presented itself from you. And if some of us was honest, one of the reasons we have not recognized that we have not truly forgiven ourselves and can't forgive others is because we've abstained from that which mirrors the fact that we haven't let it go. That's why when you finally see that ex-boyfriend, everything rushes back because you ain't seen him in years, and now you want to cut him afresh. Abstinence is not deliverance. Unforgiveness is taking poison and waiting for somebody else to die. And here's the common sense factor. And don't you look so silly where they have moved on and they smiling and happy, and then we have to hear half of the story, and now we're mad that they're happy because they done did you wrong. That ain't good grammar, but it's good doctrine. What we don't know about their side of the story, that they've gone to God and say, Lord, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But I can't undo her malice towards me, so I got to move on. Also, forgiveness causes separation.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm about to help somebody, and I'm about to be very messy.
Come on.
A lot of us don't forgive people because we know that's the automatic sign I got to release them.
Yes.
Only honest people going to say
Yes.
amen. It's hard to forgive somebody in an abusive relationship because now you got to release them. Male, female. We'll stop talking about just men. That goes across the board. And it ain't all physical. It's emotional, financially. You got somebody in your life keep you broke just so they keep you around.
Yes.
Amen. You still think I'm talking about money. Keep you broke emotionally. Keep you broke. Oh, you think I'm talking about your boyfriend. I'm talking about your mama. I'm talking about your daddy. Yeah. We ain't talking about boos and bays and husbands and spouses. We talking about friends. You know how to keep me down just enough. But you also know how to keep me from rising too high. We are begging you tonight from this church over here on Long Beach and Elm, being a voice of reason for God, by way of 215 East 100. We're begging you. You gotta let it go. I wish the young people were here. They say LIG.
Come on.
Let it go. And don't be afraid. And Jason, this should be funny because you would never understand. As a younger person, we all get in a better understanding the many facets, and I don't think the layers, it almost may seem synonymous, the facets of unforgiveness and forgiveness. We're begging that you forgive, because you forgiven is not about letting it go. You're afraid of what's new.
Amen.
Well, let me just work with this whole thing right here that ain't doing too well. So you think, I'm talking about the relationship with your raggedy job. You're going to just deal with the supervisor that's not going to get your promotion because you're too afraid to try to go get a new one and start over.
Come on.
Every day I got to hear, come on now, one of y'all right now, somebody in here or at home is going home bad-mouthing a supervisor, and you think your friend or family or cousin at home don't like it. They're tired of hearing it because they told you get another job. So apparently unforgiveness is not your issue. You just know if you let it go, you got to realize that you never went back to school like you said you would.
Well, the truth.
If you forgive, I'm swinging by your house. If you forgive, you don't recognize that you don't have all of the highly employable skills that you think we know you have. No, where you at, you got tenure. You don't got quality.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've listened to a lot of people, and even the industries that I'm in, that their only stance is tenure. Not professionalism. Because the moment they get out that box, they gonna be my employee. Am I talking to anybody? Come on, you kept your head. Come on. We ain't gonna say which branch of the service, the city government he worked for. They might figure it out. But I sure know there's some people where he work at. It's only because they've been there 20 years. Some of us got, and I'm done. Some of us have supervisors like a horrible domino player.
Yes, sir.
Just because you've been there long, don't mean you've been there right. Study long, study wrong. Which niggas do. See, I get real in there. Some of y'all ain't ready. See, on the domino players, yes, that's a little culture thing, but it is what it is. Study long, study wrong. Just because you've been here long, don't mean you've been here right.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Amen now.
Come on.
That's worship from people that see God give them promotion. I know what this lady went through. She had to forgive. Her job promotion came standing right here when God said you need to let it go. It ain't about the job, it's about your spirit. And if you can forgive her, God will not only lift you, he'll remove her. He kept her there for you to let you know how unforgiving you are. Unforgiveness is part of your glass ceiling. It's not white America.
Thank you.
It's not a supervisor. Unforgiveness is your personal glass ceiling.
Yes.
So much so that for him to ascend back to heaven in his full divinity, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I wish some spade hand players was here. Yeah, come reach.
Yes.
Trusting you to forgive. It's like that dude with all them kids and don't know. It's the 3 and impossible. Okay, that's good.
Keep it going on.
Whatever. You'll catch it later. You catch it. But you watch Maury that you roll your eyes at me. Maury only got one show. He is not the
Well.
Dear God, we thank you right now in the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jesus.
We've been around too many people that have made us comfortable in our unforgiving spirit because we didn't realize that's just who they were.
Thank you, Lord.
Lord Father, to the awaiting congregation across this nation, friends and family, cousins, I can't tell your story, but a cousin that'll shoot a text and say, man, bless you, cuz, I needed that. To an auntie in Moreno Valley would say, great job, nephew. Knowing that I have an uncle who I hate to say started a church because he's been in ministry and reviving all over the country, but to my Uncle Hank, I know that's your pastor, Bishop, but to my Uncle Hank who sat down with me outside the doorsteps of even my mother's funeral and talk about what it means to let it go. These are just things the Spirit of God is bringing to my remembrance. I'm begging you. I'm begging you that you got culprits that are Christians in your life that you have not been able to identify that they want you at a lowly standard of unforgiveness, because if you forgive, it's going to call both y'all a lie. Because you remember all last year you said, I can't ever see myself letting it go. And then you woke up one morning with grace abounding in your life, and look God in his face when you stop looking in his hands and you told God, what nerve do I have still laying charge to someone when you've taken away the charge from me? Who can lay any charges against God's elect? Is it you that died? Is it you that justified? Well, can I tell you one reason you need to forgive? You don't have the power to levy the responsibility of it. The penalty of it ain't even within your grasp. Because your unforgiveness is also begging that there be a penalty of the offense unto you. You know how many people have hurt you and they still live in great lives? Come on, somebody. You know how many people have hurt you and they still ascending the corporate ladder? You know how many people have hurt you and they still got more new cars than you ever can acquire? They still have great relationships. They broke you in your relationship and then moved on to a good one because they have removed themselves from the stain of the sin. We're begging you to let it go.
Please. Yes, please.
And if you got anybody in your life, you don't have to fully divorce yourself from them, but you need to divorce yourself from the disease of the conversation. I am letting it go today. And can I tell you, when you forgive, it's not for them, it's for you.
Come on. Yes.
Because everyone does not identify except your penance. Because when you forgive God, I'm free to trust you. And ultimately, whether you believe this or not, keep living, keep waking up in the morning. The Bible is its own defense. If you truly struggle with forgiveness, you might not believe this. Many times a trusted man of God has spoken into my life, and I had to trust the Spirit when I couldn't understand the statement. My bishop and pastor, Bishop C.A. Irvin, would speak to me on countless occasions, and I couldn't see it, but I knew I could receive it. And I'm about to tell you something right now that you might not fully receive, and we are dismissing ourselves from this moment. One of the reasons you are struggling to forgive is because you have not forgiven yourself. It's hard to pass something you have not fully acquired. So I'm going to remove myself from the indictment, the press, the push, maybe even the wagging of the finger. How dare you not forgive? Can I move to a place of compassion? I wish you to forgive yourself. And how can I convince you that they need to be off the hook when you still think you need to be hung at the stake? Can I tell you, when God said forgive, he delivered you from the penalty of sin. He never delivered you from the memory.
Come on.
Some of you are dealing with guilt. You're going to remember what you've done, but also remember how God came and met you. Well, I wish I was raised in the old school. He picked me up, turned me around, and placed my feet on solid ground.
Yes.
You keep going back in unforgiveness, talking about where I failed, and God said, ain't that the same place I picked you up? You keep going back in unforgiveness, talking about where I dropped the ball, but God said, ain't that the same place I put air back in and told you go this way? We release you tonight to those that are listening, to those that will pass it on, to those that will chime in later, to those that are tabling this moment, to watch it after work, to watch it in the morning. Whenever you receive that this is a live germinating word, and that God will meet you right where you are. Dear God, as we dismiss this place, but never from your presence, the solicitation that follows thereafter this moment, let it be in the hearts of the people. For I dare not first disrupt their offering of worship for their offering of giving. Lord Father, whatever we may receive, Lord Father, let it be wise and kindly and cheerfully given in your eyes. But our first rendering is ourselves. Let there be a self-surrender in this moment. And let there be a surrender of honesty. God, I want to, but I don't know how. Aid me in forgiving those. Aid me in releasing that which has hurt me, so that I can be free and no longer bound. We believe this to be so. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Take your time, those of you are here. Do not feel this